I'm here with Mr. Paul Palmer. Paul Palmer has been in the industry for about 3 years. He's with SustainHash as Chief Revenue Officer, a title that I don't hear so often on the show. Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
Doing well, Jesse. Thanks.
Great. You guys built SustainHash. I've had some touch points with Mike Schindler also over the years. You guys are in Canada. You're in the ASIC industry, just like myself, brokering a little bit of everything. But now you guys actually reached a huge milestone. You started site management services a couple years back, and you just crossed 100 megawatts, right? What was the sort of main driver of that growth, and why did you start doing that? HashrateUp, hardware sales, advisory, hosting, and site brokerage. Find new and used ASIC deals through the website and the Telegram channel below. Make smarter decisions with HashrateUp.
Well, we started off as a repair company, and the two founders of SustainHash started mining personally like in 2013. And then 2021, we're like, okay, let's turn this into a business. That came in the form of ASIC repair. There were some challenges that they had in repairs and said, we can do this better ourselves. Had some relationships with some people in pubcos that got them some good size orders. And then SustainHash was born out of that. Very shortly into the business, became our first site management customer up in Canada. And that led us into the site management aspect, also gave us repairs to work on, and also got us into procurement. So started getting customers that are like, okay, we need to buy equipment, or we need to refresh equipment or add to our existing stock. So we started developing relationships with manufacturers and brokers, and that just continued to spread. We've been around, we're in our 5th year of business now. So I'm in my 3rd year with the company. And when I started, we were like 5 megawatts. And so in the last 2+ years, we've 20x'd on that side of the business. And I think the primary driver from my perspective is that the revenue stream from site operations is steady, and revenue stream from repairs is spiky. So you get a big batch of repairs and you have some good revenue, and then maybe you have to hire a few new techs, and then things can taper off, and then you got people sitting around twiddling their thumbs and you're trying to figure out what to do. And so it's a tougher business model to make it in the repair world. So when I came on, I just looked at the business from kind of a holistic point of view and said, okay, what's the best way to run this so that we can stay in business, for one? And then what's the best way to grow? And that's where
I think it's also a natural fit, right? I mean, you would think that sort of in that value stack of services that you deliver, site management comes first. And then repairing the ASICs that go down is just part of the site management almost.
Yeah.
But I understand, like if you have, I don't know, a giant lot of miners coming online and it's being sold, it needs to be refurbished. Now there's 10,000 ASICs sitting there that need refurbishment. It takes a long while. You don't have the option of keeping, that floodgate open, so to speak, when there's no ASICs to repair, right? Costs a lot of money. So that makes sense. And then it ebbs and flows. And I guess you go with the market. As soon as all the recycling starts, that's when you guys are more active. And when people are just hashing and nobody cares about sales or refreshing their fleet, then it's more quiet. So that makes things very difficult as a business to survive. What you started with 5 when you got to the company, you said you had 5 megawatts under management. What's the biggest site you guys are managing, and why did they end up going with you guys over the competition? Like, what did you guys put on the table or propose that led them to choose you guys? Because I think, maybe to add that, the sort of first big site is almost a bigger milestone than the first site itself. The first site, if it's a 1 megawatt site, is a whole different beast than doing, I don't know, a 20 megawatt site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to answer the first question, the largest site that we have is 40 megawatts. And we did compete with a lot of larger companies, larger than us. And, I think it was a combination of things that got us the business. But we do have a reputation in the industry for being honest. We do what we say we're going to do. If we make a mistake, we throw our hand up and say, okay, that was on us, and then we go fix it. And so we got this referral from a brokerage, a site brokerage company. And so when our customer went to the broker and said, hey, who should we use for site management? They said, well, you should really consider the SustainHash guys. Really good group of people, smaller company, but super dedicated, hardworking. And so then, they got in contact with us, and I went and sat with the group and told them what our capabilities were, and that basically they would be, as a small company, they would be a huge deal for us. They would get 100% of our attention. That we wouldn't have this, too big to treat you special kind of an attitude. And
No, I like that.
yeah.
I think it's every industry, right? Let's I don't know, wherever you compete, if you have a customer and there's bigger competition, and you can just say, hey, you guys would be our biggest customer, you are essential to our survival, so we will drop everything if we need to solve problems for you. And that's something that you can only, that the bigger guys cannot say.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I like that. So when you get the 40 megawatt contract, no doubt you have to hire people, Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? What do you look for when you hire people, now that you can give them a more steady job perspective, because you know that the ASICs running there are quite profitable, and there will be new ASICs coming in to keep the site online?
Yeah, I think the thing for hiring is finding the right people that are a fit for the ethos of the company. People that have integrity, people that are honest, people that are hardworking, that want to do a good job, that want to be a part of a team, that we can build something together and have some longevity. I think most people are looking for a secure place to work. They want to be valued for what they do. They want to be treated fairly. And so that's what we look for in people. Obviously, experience is important, to have some experience in this type of work, because we're hiring people. Like, we have sites in Texas, Iowa, Kansas, and Alberta, Canada. So we hire people in all those locations, in different spots in Texas, in different spots in Iowa. And so, for one, they've got to be, local people, and you may not have somebody that has the full experience that we might need, but we train them to do what they need to do. So I think the most important thing is finding people that are the right fit for the team that we want to put together.
Okay, so what kind of background expertise do the hires then usually have? Do they come from, I don't know, the mobile repair world? Like, have they touched ASICs before? And what do they do to get to a level where you're like, okay, no, you're ready to go on site and manage machines for the client?
Yeah, some of them do have experience with site operations, specifically in the mining world. Some of them have come from those larger companies and started working with us. Other ones have had similar type jobs, but not in ASIC, maybe just working in data centers or something similar. So it varies. We've got somewhere around 30 something employees now in all the sites. So it kind of varies, but again, the most important thing is the way the person operates personally, their ethics and their willingness to learn.
Yeah.
We've got a really top-notch person in charge of that handles hiring. He's got a great track record, and so yeah, it's
Got a
really about the
good eye.
team. It's
I was telling my wife today, Paul, a bit of a side note here, that in the world of AI that we're entering, right, blue collar work, to which I would classify site management of a Bitcoin mining site, is less in danger, I would say, than white collar work.
mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, like it takes over everything and influences everything. And the marginal cost for services is gonna come down. um, it has never been more important, I feel like, to be able to speak to people well and have those values that you're describing. Because in the end of the day, I think that is more often than not going to be the deciding factor for if you know get a position or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sidetracking. I would like to know next, Paul, when are you successful? Like how you have a client, you charge them money, right? So they pay the power bill, you give them an O&M fee, they buy the machines, they keep them running. Like what does a contract like this look like? What are the prerequisites for closing a deal like this? Do you have to hit certain targets? How are those measured? Does the client have their own measurement system in place? Do they just trust you to measure your own performance correctly? Like, what does that relationship look like once it's in full motion?
Yeah, there are agreements, service level agreements that we put in place at different aspects of the business. Uptime is probably one of the more important ones in that list. Um, the the main goal of a site, I would say, when a site is successful, is when it's running at the highest possible capacity to optimize the energy that's being deployed at the site. So to take as much of the energy as you possibly can coming into that site and deploying it into mining efficiently, and that's the end result. To get the lowest price Bitcoin out of that mine. And so,
and do you sit with them every month and review the performance? Like, what, again, talk to me a bit more about the
we
ongoing relationship with the client. Like, what happens there?
so we're in contact with our clients daily. There's a representative usually within each one of the clients, and there's always a back and forth. And so, like, our remote staff in the middle of the night will be telling clients, "Hey, we're doing a curtailment. Here's the reason we're doing the curtailment." And so they're getting real-time notifications from real people. And then we'll do like daily summaries. So we'll have, the guy that's in charge of all the sites. It'll say, okay, on this site, here's the daily summary. Here's what we did. Here's the machines that we moved. We replaced these filters. There was a broken camera. We fixed the camera. There was a fence that needed to have a patch put in it. The water tank needed to be.
Yeah.
All of these things. You think site management, it's like, oh, it's a bunch of computers running and they just run and that's it. Like, that's so far from the truth. Like, the truth is there's always something to do and there's always something breaking. And there's always machines to switch, or one machine's not performing, so you go and reboot it, or maybe the fan has gone down, you're swapping fans, or one hash board's gone out and you're making a decision, do I pull the machine and swap the hash board? Or it's just like it's a constant workload.
BitX, solomining.de, got it. Premium, made in Germany. You want to go fancy? Go for NerdX or NerdQX++ for a lot of power. Worldwide shipping. Check out solomining.de today. And do you do your clients understand Bitcoin mining on a technical level, or do you have to justify and educate them on the changes that you're making?
Most of them do understand it, but maybe not to the depth that our team does. So there is a level of trust and respect between there. They know that we know what we're doing, and we demonstrate that on a daily basis by the actions that we take and the reasons for those actions. So we're very transparent. But some clients are like, take this money, this fiat currency, deploy it into equipment, run it for me, and get the highest possible Bitcoin out of it. And that's it. And they want to just kind of be like, okay, take care of it and handle it. And we can do that as well. So some clients are more like, daily interaction. Other ones are just like, I know you guys are running it well, just take care of it and send me my report and send me my Bitcoin.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, that's very cool. Which jurisdictions are you mining sites or you managing sites in today?
Today it's Canada, Alberta, throughout the region there. We've got quite a few sites scattered around.
Okay.
And then we have a few sites in Texas and a couple in Iowa and Kansas.
Which ones are the most difficult to operate?
Well, it would be the ones that weren't built as well. And that doesn't come with geography or the weather. It comes with the equipment that was installed, like the containers, or the switchgear, or the PDUs that fail over and over. It's equipment that's not made, equipment that has a spec, but when you push it to the spec, it blows up, and you got to run it at 70% of the spec to not blow it up. And so it's really the sites that are not built well that we're having to go in and fix things that are the most difficult.
So it's not like, temperatures that gives you headaches. It's actually sites that are using electrical equipment that's just not performing well. And so does your team on site have to cover everything, or do you have different specialities among the team for, I don't know, switch gears and transformers? Is a very different beast than, I don't know, hashboard repair,
Yeah, so we don't do the electrical work. So if there is something with the transformers that need to be done, that's done by electricians. We do on grid and off grid. So we've got generators running on gas that are powering miners. And that's a different beast in itself because, there's balancing of the generator. Generators in Canada, when it's cold, can run like a top, but when it gets hot in Canada, you got to, trim them back, and that happens in real time. So in the hottest part of the day, we're pulling the generators back, and that's done by remote staff that are watching this 24/7. We're from the polar opposites. We're up in the frozen tundra of Canada, dealing with snow and all kinds of cold weather, and then we're in Texas dealing with heat, humidity, dust, and all the stuff that comes with that. So each one of them has their own challenge.
What is mining in Canada? Sorry, Paul. What is mining in Canada like today? Like from a regulatory perspective, I know Alberta is like the Texas of Canada, right? Mm-hmm. But what is mining in Canada easy? Buying a site, quickly mining, buying Bitcoin. What does the regulation say? I'd like to know.
I don't know the actual, like, here's the regulations for Canada and Bitcoin mining, other than they're open to it. The government there is supportive of it. We were at a conference, I guess it was not last year before last, up in Canada, and we actually got to sit with some of the government officials, and they were just like, bring it in. We want more of this. We want more data centers. We want more people to be employed. We have so much resources in the way of gas that we can deploy. There's plenty of electricity, and I think everyone around the world is starting to realize that Bitcoin, the use of electricity coming through Bitcoin mining, is a positive for the grid. It helps the grid. It takes gas that no one else wants, or they're going to just flare or release it into the air. And as they say, Bitcoin solves that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, site management is one of those things that I've never actually been like. I do this podcast. I've been doing it for a while now. I've never actually been in a big data center. Like, I want to change it this year, but I have a couple machines here at home, and it's just again and again mind-boggling to me. Like, when you turn these machines on, you feel like there's something physical behind Bitcoin mining. Everything other than that is just shiny apps and people talking to you, zapping stuff back and forth. But in mining, like, you're working on the ground with these machines, producing a lot of heat, and you're doing it all over the world. You have 100 megawatt now, Paul, roughly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want more, obviously. So tell me about the strategy as chief revenue officer of your company. Like, how do you grow that side of the business? Are you guys looking to do AI stuff as well and operating AI sites? Is that something in your purview as everybody and their grandmother are pivoting? Or are you going to stick to Bitcoin mining? And how do you grow to, I don't know, a gigawatt?
That's the question. That's the one that we focus on. So AI, I think that there is a place in the future for us to step into that realm. I don't know the on-ramp for that yet. There's a few of our customers that are discussing going into AI and a few partners that are looking at it. And so we've been so busy growing in the Bitcoin space that we just haven't had the ability to spend a lot of time or focus on AI or HPC. But it's definitely not ruled out. I mean, we're definitely open to that. It's another data center. Bitcoin, HPC, AI, they're all data centers. A lot different in what they're running and how they run it, the expense of what they're running, but the fundamentals are pretty much the same. Bunch of electricity, bunch of computers, and a place to put them.
Global competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buying Bitcoin miners should be simple, safe, and fast. Altair Technology delivers exactly that. Based in the US and shipping directly from St. Louis, Altair eliminates all the shady messaging groups, customs and tariffs issues, and makes sure Bitcoin miners get to you on time. Altair stocks leading commercial ASIC miners, efficient home units, and all the critical parts you need, backed by real inventory, real support, and a team of people that you can rely on and actually mines Bitcoin. Thank you so much, Altair Technology, for supporting the show. And without further ado, let's get back to it. When all the investors are looking at AI, how do you grow your mining management business or revenue stream?
Well,
do you see it being more difficult? Do site operators so typically how I imagine this going is you have site brokers, they sell sites, you have investors that buy sites for Bitcoin mining, and then they need somebody to run it, correct?
Yes.
So does that demand still exist?
Yes.
Currently, or
yes.
is literally every investor looking at AI? Okay, and why are they looking at Bitcoin mining still? What market conditions make them look at Bitcoin mining over AI?
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of people looking at AI, and there's people that have been in Bitcoin mining that are moving to AI. All of that's true. But if you look at Bitcoin as an overall acceptance into the market, it's still a very small percentage. And so there's still people now that don't really understand Bitcoin. And they're hearing more and more about it because now BlackRock has an ETF and the government's talking about it, and other governments around the world are using it as a currency. So now people are starting to go, whoa, what is this Bitcoin thing? And when you get more adoption, more people looking into it, the adoption rate grows. And then as people start to adopt it, they start going, oh, wait, this is really exciting. This is digital gold. This is a store of value. Oh, my God, I could get this by mining it, and then I can get a tax benefit, and I don't have to just buy it, and then I can get a clean Bitcoin. And they put it together the same way guys did back in 2013, 2015, 2019. Like, we're still in an infancy stage. And so there's still people that are coming into this bright-eyed and just going, oh, man, yeah, this is really cool. I want to get involved. So they're not going away. And I think that AI for some people is like so far out of reach. It just seems like, I don't understand that. But there's more and more people that can wrap their head around Bitcoin. And it's something that you could take like a bit axe. I have a couple bit axes running here in my office. It's like, you can run it as small as this and you get the concept. And you're like, wait a second, I plug this in, I take electricity, I convert electricity into a digital gold, a store of value, like I could buy more electricity and get more of this. And then the wheels start turning. You go, well, what if I just set up a mine? And then a lot of our customers are people who have sold a business. They've gotten a big chunk of capital, and they're like, okay, I got this big chunk of fiat currency, and every single second of the day, it's losing value. It's losing value, losing value. So if I don't deploy this, if I don't put it somewhere, it's just going to keep losing value. So what's the best place to put it? And then they start getting into Bitcoin. They go, oh my God, I see it as a store of value. They see the trend of Bitcoin, and if you look at Bitcoin from the beginning until now, you see that it is a upward slope. Yes, of course, it has volatility, but that's where we make money, is in volatility. So people who get that are like, oh yeah, I've got 2.5 million. I want to deploy this and start mining. So that's what we're picking up, and we're doing that through site brokers, through relationships that we have. Those just continue to build. So your question earlier about how do we get to a gigawatt? We're at just over 100 megawatts now, but how do we grow 10x from that? And I'd have to say the same way we've been doing it, only doing more of it, more clients, more sites, and helping our customers to get the best possible value for their money.
Have you ever said no to a site, to manage a site? Have you ever said, no, we're not going to manage this?
No. We haven't been offered one. We've said no to some sites that people wanted us to come in and like invest in, and we've gone in and looked and said no, that's not.
Okay, fair enough. But it's never been like this transformer is beyond repair. Switchgear sucks. PDU suck. We cannot make you happy, so we're gonna turn it down. That never happened.
We haven't had that happen yet. I mean, we got into a site that was pretty bad that we've had to do a lot of fixing, to get it there.
Yeah.
But it was a client that we really liked, respected, and we wanted to do well for them. So we told them this site it's got some challenges, and it's going to take a lot for us to get it up to spec. We know what to do. We'll do it, but it's going to be painful in the beginning.
An uphill battle.
Yeah, it's really about setting expectations.
So today, SustainHash, Paul, you guys sell BitAccess, if I'm not mistaken. You guys repair machines. You guys do site management. Am I missing anything?
Well, we do. We don't sell BitAccess. We sell equipment. We sell usually large batches of equipment, usually to customers or people that just know us will come for equipment. So we're not in the equipment game like we're trying to be a big player in equipment, but it makes sense for us to do equipment sales for people that come to us. We want to do as much equipment sales as we can. That's just not our main source of revenue. And site operations is our main source of revenue. That feeds the repair business. That also feeds the equipment business, because people come to us and say, okay, I want to deploy some capital. Let's get the best possible deal for this amount of capital, whether it be hydro or air cooled or whatever it is, and then we'll go source all that for them. The other thing that we do that is a little unique is we have come out with our own warranty program. And this was born out of a demand from customers who came to us and said, this factory warranty is worthless. Like I got this factory warranty and I send it to the factory to get it warranted, and it's been 6 months and crickets, and it's so.
Thanks, Bitmain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wasn't going to name names, but
no, I'm happy to. Don't worry.
Exactly. So they're like, this is pointless, and so we came out with a warranty that we put on the like a price per terahash. And that covers the equipment for up to 2 years. So that way, when a customer goes and buys equipment, they can spend a little bit more, and they know exactly what their repair costs are going to be for 2 years. And so just like for us.
So I have a question for you, Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you add different amounts on top of the machine price for different models?
Yes.
By any chance?
Yes.
Okay. So you are assessing the risk of how likely it is that the machines break, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah, it's a calculated
Which machines
risk.
carry the least premium?
I don't know which ones carry the least premium. Yeah, I mean it's something that we price on an individual basis because we're also doing this on used equipment.
Okay.
So if it's a used piece of equipment that's still within warranty, so let's say it's been deployed for 10 months or whatever, and it's got 2 months left of warranty, then we'll tack on another 12 months behind that for a total of 14 months.
Interesting.
So that we can, like I was saying in the beginning, you know, when you're a repair company, your revenue is spiky. And when you are a miner, your repair expenses are spiky because you could have several of them, you know, go down.
Sure.
You could have a big lot that goes down. It just depends. And so with a warranty program, you can flatline your expenses. And then for us, we can flatline the revenue. So it really works good for both parties.
Yeah, it's peace of mind. And it's certainty. You can calculate. There's so many things that are out of your control in Bitcoin mining, right? You cannot control any of the revenue, right?
Yeah.
It's completely. You can only control your cost. So certainty there certainly makes sense, 100%. Cool, Paul. If we're at the end of our session, unfortunately, I would like to ask you a few rapid fire questions at the end here.
Okay.
You ready?
I think so.
Cool. The number one biggest mistake small mining operators make, what would you say?
Hiring the wrong people.
Number two, repair or replace. At what point does an ASIC stop being worth fixing?
That's the exact economics of that miner and what all needs to be repaired. So if it's 3 hash boards, you might just get a new miner.
Yeah, scrap value is your friend.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What to you guys is the best mining jurisdiction outside of Canada today?
Texas.
All right.
Now I'm sitting in Texas.
Do you have any?
And I'm a native Texan, so I might be a little bit biased, but Texas has somewhere around half of the hash rate for North America, so it's a safe bet.
Damn. All right, cool. Do you have any projection for hash rate and hash price at the end of the year?
No. I'm hoping a lot higher hash price by the end of the year.
All right, cool. And the biggest thing that surprised you at that 40 megawatt site, like what did you not expect? What was different managing the 40 megawatt site versus a smaller one?
Well, the network was kind of a surprise with what we were dealing with, so we had to make some changes there. But it was built by the same company that built a previous one, so it was the same specs. So there wasn't that many surprises, and we have enough experience where we know exactly what to do.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. Tell people where they can find you and SustainHash, please.
So we can be found at SustainHash.com on the web. I can be found at paul@SustainHash.com email, and we've got some social media handles, LinkedIn, Instagram, all under the same name.
Yeah, we'll link all of that down below. Guys, this was Paul Palmer, Chief Revenue Officer at SustainHash. Pleasure talking to you, Paul. This was your first time on the show. I hope you do this again. You guys are going to Vegas as well, right? So if you are looking for friends in Vegas, go find Paul. I'm sure he's lovely to hang out with. I haven't had the pleasure in person, but I'm sure I can make that statement. If you guys need site management, go contact them. If you need repair services in Canada or anywhere else, contact them as well. Thank you so much, Paul, for your time and expertise, and I hope to speak to you again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate you having me on.
All right.